What's up, guys? Poke here. I kind of wanted to talk about Pitch Black. It's been a while. I just want to just kind of like relook at it, reassess it, and kind of get my thoughts of like how I'm going to attack it. But first, I want to like kind of look at some of these pricings for it. So like 274, these are pre-sales. This comes out like in a week. And so I think if you're going to pay, if you're going to want to buy this product, you're definitely going to want to wait. You don't want to spend this, $275. If you, this is a small set, just like Chaos Rising, just like Perfect Order. I think this is on par with Chaos Rising um, overall, and so whatever Chaos Rising is doing, you could probably expect the same thing for this. But I don't think it's a better investment than Chaos Rising, only because this is coming out later, and I just don't think it's going to get ripped as much as Chaos Rising. So I think that's one drawback for it. But I would say this is definitely too much if you're trying to invest. If you're trying to flip, you're definitely taking a high risk of trying to flip this. You're trying to buy this right out the gate. But of course, if you're just opening it because you just want to open packs, then it is what it is, right? You're going to lose money anyway. So I don't know, gobble up whatever you want to gobble up. But I would kind of put out on that. And then the other thing too is like with the ETBs, same thing. These are like $107 on here. I know no one's gonna like hear this or want to hear this, but GameStop has these for $90. I know GameStop is a terrible company right now. Everyone hates it. But if you're an investor or a flipper or scalper, you're not gonna really care because the goal is, to make money to, better your life in the way that you find meaning in your life. So I think if you don't know, now you know. You can get a better deal at GameStop for that. All right, so I kind of want to go over the list of the cards again because it's been a while since I've looked at these. I think I have similar thoughts as like when I first looked at this. I do think anything from 151 is a hit. I think this Goldine kind of reminds me of the Horsey from Shrouded Fables. You can see this card now is like $60 and it skyrocketed within the past year, right? And so, of course, this came out before this, so it's probably lower. I don't have any data other than what shows here, but you can see it's just a regular card. Came out in a really weak set. So if a Horsey in a Shrouded Fable can get to $60, I don't see why like a Goldine can't get to that level too, right? I think Horsey is probably slightly more popular, but at the end of the day, those are really weak original Pokemon. So like, I don't think it really matters. So this card will probably drop just like every perfect order SIR or whatever rarity these are. I think a lot of those are like $5 and less now, so this will probably do the same thing. But I do think it has a lot of potential if we're just going to compare it to something that it's very similar to from the same generation that it came from. I think Amarouche is probably a pretty cool card. It's not something I would focus on. This is something I'm looking at. Um, I think this is also a decent card. I think these two are decent cards if these are the generations for you. These are not my generation. This is not the generation with people that have money or looking to buy and invest in Pokemon. But if you're talking about super long term, might be a good deal because when these kids grow up, these are two cards they're going to be looking at. So if you want something that's super long term, you think might have some possible value, and you want to really speculate, I think those definitely the way to go. I think this is a niche Pokemon. When did this come out? Like generation 2 or 3? I can't really remember. It's one of those two. But I do know a lot of people kind of like this card too, or like in general. I think this is going to be the card from the set that's going to do really, really well. If it doesn't, I'd be very surprised. It's Slowbro, it's 151, and this card just actually, when I look at it, it just looks really good. I can't see why. I think this is going to be, if there's a sleeper card, this would be the sleeper card. It just looks really nice. So this, when I think about Pitch Black and how I want to invest in it, I don't really think I'm going to do like sealed products per se with this because I think the problem with sealed is I think this is coming out too late. It's coming out before 30th anniversary. It's coming out before Delta Rain, right? And so I just don't think this is going to get opened as much because people aren't going to want to open as much. And so I think the sealed product will kind of sit for a long time. Because even though sealed product goes up over time, there are some that just like get very stagnant and are slow, like Vivid Voltage from like Sword and Shield. Like overprinted and it wasn't open enough, right? And so like I don't want to necessarily get into sealed product that doesn't get opened enough, right? So that's what scares me a little bit about Perfect Order. But Chaos Rising, I feel like it's a good mix. I feel like it got opened a lot, and now that there's so much on the market, people don't want it. I think it's a good entry for sealed product for that. But for Pitch Black, I just don't think we'll have to see. We'll have to see when it comes out. But it's just coming out at an unfortunate time too. We're also in the slowdown, and so people are not looking to buy as much. So it's just coming out at a very unique time. I mean, these cards look pretty cool. I don't really know them, not from my generation at all. What else do we got? And more Peko. The Oh, here we go. Yeah, Misty. I think this is a sleeper. I know apparently, like in America, uh, trainer cards are not that popular, but I mean, I don't see why this isn't. It's like so this same thing is one of the original trainers. It's Misty. I guess she's in bathing suit. So I mean, I guess if you're definitely buying that, you're probably gonna be on a watch list. But it is Misty, and I think that card is gonna do well too, especially as a trainer and just from nostalgia. And so that's something I'll probably think about too. I guess it just really depends. It really just depends. So Misty and Slowbro are the two cards I would look at overall from this set. Zorora, it's not a Pokemon from my generation, so I don't really know how much pull he has. I don't think much. If I had to guess, he's probably popular with the newer generation kids. So maybe in the future that might have a lot of like. This might be a good play for like. This might be a good play for a long term, but I just not seeing it. Chandler, for whatever reason, I always see this Pokemon a lot. I don't like. I get. Is he popular? If he is, I just don't like it. Wasn't he in the fighting Pokemon game, the Pokken, whatever it was called? Like I just when did he become popular? Is he popular? I don't know. And then Darkrai, this card looks amazing. It's just very unfortunate that I just don't think that Darkrai is popular enough to carry this at all, right? Like Greninja in Chaos Rising is barely popular enough to carry a set, right? It's like it doesn't have the Charizard like stardom. Like Darkrai definitely doesn't. Even though this card is going to be great, I think people are going to like it, especially in person. But I don't really think that matters in the long term unless this somehow develops into a popular Pokemon. But at this point, it hasn't, and I don't think it ever will. So the card will look pretty. I think people will like it when it first comes out, but for a long term, I just don't know if it's if the art style is going to be enough to carry it. Um, and then Morpeko, apparently this has a good fan base. Same thing. I don't know what generation this is from. Is it from like 7 or 8? I'm not really sure. It's a generation I didn't play, but definitely a popular Pokemon. I think these cards kind of match the dark theme. Um, and so if I was going to invest, and then you have the gold cards, I do think here's my thesis with gold cards. I think current generation of gold cards they're trash. Okay, and I think everyone vouches for that. But I've noticed that kids really like these cards, and so I do think it might if you're looking for something super long term is super speculative. I do think gold cards in the future are going to come into play and they're going to be really well. And so I don't know if Mega Darkrai is going to be the card to go, but like Greninja, both the gold Charizards, those are probably going to be really good plays for like we're talking about like 5, 10 years from now. Right now, they're definitely trash. But you looking for something really long term, like I would just kind of like look at what the kids are very interested in, like what they like. Because I think that says a lot about like what is you know what you should be speculating for like a long term investment. So that's my 2 cents with go cards. But anyway, I think with this set, I don't really want any of this sealed product. I thought I was gonna get some ETBs. I did pre-order them, and then I just canceled all of them. So just to be honest, um, every single one that I had, I canceled all of them. And so I think that these prices are definitely going to go down a lot, just like Chaos Rising. So it's like, why am I going to hold on to this? It's not going to be a popular set. Summer Slowdown, other sets that people are looking at. And so I canceled my pre-order. So with this set, I'm going to wait till the cards kind of like tumble down and come down on pricing, and then I'll be looking at more Pecco, even though I don't know anything about that. I might, research some more about the lore with that. But Misty and definitely Slowbro, maybe Golding. I'm probably not going to go Golding, but this is the main thing that I want from this set. Definitely this and Misty, depending on how easy it is to pull Misty. I don't think she's going to be that rare at all, so it's probably going to be a lot of her. But Slowbro, this card right here, I'll definitely be looking to grab a lot of these because I think what's going to happen is this card is going to drown, just like the whole set, and then there will be an abundance of them, pretty cheap, and I'll be there to scoop them up. And that I think that's going to be my play when it comes to Pitch Black overall. And then I think that's pretty much all I had to say for that. I think it's just like I said, it's just very unfortunate the set is coming out at this time. We're at the summer slowdown. You got the 30th anniversary. You've got sets that people are more hyped about. And another thing, I'm gonna say it again. Even though everyone considers this a summer slowdown, like we don't really know what's going to happen in the end. This actually might be the end of the bull market, as much as people don't want to admit that. But 5 years ago, I've said this before. The 5 years ago with Sword and Shield, celebrations could not save the market, and neither could Evolving Skies. Like the market still tanked, regardless when those sets came out. And so if Celebration 30th celebration comes out and 30th anniversary comes out and it's an abundance and the prices are way too high, like I really just don't think that's, regardless of how hyped the set is, I don't think that can carry the set long term, or I don't think that can carry the set short term and continue to fuel the Pokemon hobby for a continuation of the bull market. At some point, it's going to end. Um, I do understand people's thesis when, like, this is a physical object, and so and there's scarcity in this, so like it could possibly never end as long as Pokemon can't print enough. But I don't think that really matters. I really just think that the demand can shift from other reasons, and so like if the market opportunities become less and less, and people start to notice that, then people will stop scalping, right? So like the 30th anniversary, like how are you going to make money off of it, right? So like the scalpers would have to sell to somebody, and a lot of times they sell to people like me or other investors who think long term. But like if the ceiling is already high, why would we buy it? So anyway, food for thought. That's my thoughts on Pitch Black. I think that's how I'm going to handle this and tackle it. Slow bro. And then it's unfortunate the set is coming out at this time. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you watching the video. Pokemon Doc out. And don't forget, go touch grass. Thank you.